So then guys, I am for one am super excited for about 15 months from now when we'll be getting Apple's first true foldable iPhone out there, and I am super excited for this. And today I want to go over 7 leaks and rumors, some brand new ones, some that we've covered in the past with some good updates with them, and I want to tell you all the information about this because right now we have some great foldables out there from the likes of like Samsung, like the Galaxy Z Fold 7 like I've got right here, or the Honor Magic V5 what I've got right here. Both of these are super thin foldable phones out there and they are great to use, and I cannot wait for Apple to finally join that party. And one of the big questions you might be asking is, why has Apple been so late to this party? Well, that's all to do with leak number 1, and that is that Apple have been working on a crease-free display, as you can see from this leak right here. And this crease-free display, we've been told in another leak right here that this is going to be a liquid metal hinge, or a liquid hinge. So this essentially gets rid of that sort of crease in the middle. And also, if you've used a foldable phone, you will know if you rub your finger over the middle, you can feel it sort of dips down. And it looks like Apple have developed some sort of liquid kind of cushion to go in the middle here that you won't feel that, and also that when it closes, that there's a way how that kind of cushion works that you will not get a crease inside of your phone. And obviously Apple will be testing opening and closing up this phone, you know, thousands and thousands of times to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. And Apple have been waiting for this moment. Now, I know, like I said, lots of you guys will be saying, well, Apple's like really late to the party. You know, this is the 7th generation we are now on for the Galaxy Z Fold. And, you know, finally Apple have here. Well, at the end of the day, like me right now, you know, it's only been till, say, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 that I've been interested in it, that it's thin enough, and also that the crease is definitely manageable for my liking. And it looks like the Apple will probably be raising the bar even more here. So this is something to be straight away excited about, that if you hate creases in foldables and a big reason why you don't want one, well, it looks like Apple are eliminating this. And to go alongside this, the second big leak and rumor we've heard is recently, and I mean very recently, Apple actually have got a factory now to start making these displays. And the displays are actually going to be made from Samsung themselves. So Apple have actually getting a dedicated factory to build these screens from Samsung. And this is with that liquid hinge display. And this is really exciting to see that definitely a foldable iPhone is on its way and is going to be coming out in 2026. This is super exciting to see. So yeah, it's great to see that production of this and testing of the screen has now begun. Now, moving on from this, the third big leak that we've heard about is all to do with screen sizes. Well, particularly the front-facing screen. You guys probably want to know, how big is that screen going to be on the front? Well, we've been told it's going to be a 5.5-inch display. Now, 5.5-inch display, if you've heard that before, well, this used to be the size screen that we used to get in the Plus models in the past, from the iPhone 6 all the way up to the iPhone 8. Do you remember when they used to sell those models? Where you used to have like the iPhone 6, the iPhone 6 Plus. Well, that screen in the middle there obviously had big bezels around it. Well, that was 5.5 inches, and it looks like this is the display size we will get on the outer screen of this new foldable. And then funny enough, moving on to the actual fourth big leak we've heard about, and that is the display on the inside of the actual iPhone, and that is actually going to be a 7.8-inch display. This will be the inside screen size. So this is super exciting to hear that Apple are going to make a nice large canvas, what's going to be 7.8 inches. And this goes in respect of like very similar other models, like this one here, the Galaxy Z Fold. This one here is 8 inches, so it's just slightly smaller there, 0.2 of a millimeter smaller. It's not going to be much at all there. So it's a nice big canvas when you open it up on the inside. So this is going to be great news to hear that we'll have a nice large display, especially the likes of, say, like an iPad mini out there. You know, that display is 8.3 inches at the moment. And then obviously in the past, what we've actually had is 7.9 inches on the previous iPad minis, and that's the one with the home button in the middle and things like this at the bottom. So yeah, you get the idea. It's going to be about that kind of size, what you're going to get on the inside of this iPhone. But then the next question you're probably asking about is, what about battery life inside of it? We're making a thin, foldable kind of iPhone out there. Is battery life going to be really terrible? Well, we've got some good news there for leak number 5, and that's all to do with the high density battery that Apple are going to stick inside of their foldable phone. So, just like the iPhone 16e, we've actually got one of those carbon kind of lithium batteries inside of it. And lots of other manufacturers are using this, like for example, Honor are using that type of battery in this phone. Samsung are also using this too now, and this is how, for example, they've managed to keep sort of the similar kind of size batteries, but they're getting more life out of them. And we saw this with the iPhone 16e, that it is practically the same size as an iPhone 14, but yet we're getting far better battery life, even though the phone's not that much more thicker than the standard iPhone 14, because it's what it was based on. And this is great news to hear that Apple are doing that. That obviously combined with the likes of a custom chip for 5G and also for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all of that Apple will be developing for it, battery life is probably not going to be a problem with this. I'm going to be saying that battery life when the phone is actually folded, not opened up, will probably be very similar to what we have right now, you know, with an iPhone 16e or possibly with, say, the iPhone sort of 16 Pro kind of range, that kind of battery life. I wouldn't say it's probably going to be as a Pro Max because obviously we've got 2 display, all those cameras and bits and pieces like that, but still it's going to be a very respectable battery life out there for a foldable phone. But then the next question you're going to be asking out is, what about, say, bend gate issues and things like this? If it's going to be such a thin phone with those thin batteries and things like this, well, is it going to be easy to bend? Well, we've got some great news here, and that is to do with actually the iPhone 17 Air that we've heard about, and that is that this phone's going to be completely made out of titanium. And with the phone being completely made out of titanium, the great news about this, that it is super strong for actually having this phone, and trying to bend it's going to be quite tough. And I think the iPhone 17 Air is going to be a good test, trying not to say to actually bend one, you know, jerry rig, everything is going to definitely try to break it, we know that, but to see if there's any kind of bend gate issues. But if Apple have perfected this in the likes of that, you know, Air kind of model, that iPhone 17 Air, we definitely know for a foldable phone going into the future, it's definitely going to be possible that Apple are going to make this and achieve this, that it won't probably snap or bend. And this is fantastic news to hear. And then after this, for the final 6th big upgrade and leak we've heard about, is all to do with the cameras on this phone. Now, if you're expecting to get a fantastic zoom capability on a foldable phone, no, this is not going to happen. There's not many, if any, really kind of good phones out there that are foldable phones that have fantastic cameras as good as, say, a bar kind of phone out there right now, like the Pro Max kind of phones or the equivalent kind of flagships. So yeah, that is what I would be saying right now. Because of this, it does look like we'll only be getting 2 cameras on the back of the iPhone Fold phone. So this is most likely going to be a wide sensor and an ultra wide sensor. More than likely it's going to be a 48 megapixel one, exactly the same as what we'll get inside the iPhone 18 kind of normal kind of phone out there. So you know, your wide and your ultra wide, and I'm sure there'll be fantastic sensors and lenses inside of this. But obviously if you want to have that, you know, extra kind of zoom kind of capability, it will be going back to, say, a Pro Max kind of phone that you will need to get your hands on to get that capability. But if you want that true tablet experience way before any foldable iPhone comes out, well, you should check out the giveaway we're doing on this channel for this right here. I'm giving away an iPad Pro 13-inch, and this is no ordinary model that I'm giving away at the end of September time. This actually has 1 terabyte of storage inside of it, and that means then it has got the full fat M4 chip in it, 10-core CPU, 10-core GPU, and then it's also got 16 gigabytes of RAM inside of it. And like I said, I'm giving this away on an international giveaway to 1 lucky person on this channel, 1 lucky subscriber. And all you have to do to enter into this giveaway is quite simple. All you have to do is put down into the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to get in 2025. Maybe it is going to be a foldable phone from Android or something, you know, maybe a Samsung or maybe an Honor Honor or something else. Maybe it's going to be a new iPhone. Well, you know, it could be something completely different even, like say a Nintendo Switch 2. Just let me know in the comments below. Now, the other part of the giveaway as well is going to be happening at the end of September time, where I'll be giving, you know, details about it in a live stream, and also I'll be giving you details about a form to fill in too around that time. And you won't want to miss out on that video when I make it. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell for that reason. Plus, you also want to be a subscriber too, because obviously I'm giving this away to a lucky subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say about this iPad Pro 13-inch is that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonate me, tend to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people, best you see right here. Please do report them. So, moving on from this then, what about the release date and the price of the new iPhone Foldable? When will it be coming out and how much will it be? Well, let's talk about the release date first of all. As I said right at the beginning of this video, we're about 15 months away. And what I'm indicating then is that most likely it looks like Apple are looking to bring out these new foldable phones in September 2026. That is when Apple are looking to release them. So yeah, that is one exciting time to look forward to. So more than likely Apple will do an event kind of in the early teens September, but probably by the sort of end mid-teens is when we'll actually get our hands on this brand new foldable iPhone for the first time. So that is super exciting to hear. But then, what about the actual price of this new phone? Well, personally, I think we look towards other kind of companies for inspiration. Let's take Samsung, for example. If you get, for example, the 256 gigabyte option, or sometimes you get the upgrade to 512 gigabytes if you pre-order, you know, in advance, well, that starts at $2,000 or $1,999 US for it. Or where I'm in the UK, it's actually £1,799. So yeah, about, you know, around the same kind of price and everything like that. But the point is that that's how much the starting price of this costs. And more than likely, I think Apple will be targeting a very similar price, give or take $100. So, you know, it could actually start at $1,899 US, or it could even start at $2,100. It's more than likely this is the kind of price range that Apple will be targeting for this new phone. So yeah, don't expect it to be super cheap. Now, obviously, the more storage you add up to 512 gigabytes or even to 1 terabyte, that is going to go up a fair bit. And for example, like the 1 terabyte option of the Galaxy Z Fold 7, yeah, that starts at like about $2,420 right now in the US. So just be aware of that it will be quite expensive if you put up your prices there. But this is the point. You are paying for, you know, a big screen on the inside and another screen on the inside, all that technology. This is for a premium kind of user out there. It's not going to be a cheap phone. So just be aware of that. And obviously the other thing just to throw in the mix there, obviously tariffs could interfere with this by the time this is launched. So just be aware of that too. But really guys, that is the latest and greatest we have on the iPhone Fold. Are you excited for it? Are you going to be getting one yourself? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well guys, it's time to wrap up the video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, when you hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.